And in the meantime, Finance Minister Mr. Wale Edo says environmental taxes could greatly help mobilize domestic resources towards development beyond climate adaptation and mitigation. The minister speaking at the Commonwealth Finance Ministers meeting on the sidelines of the World Bank IMF annual meetings in Marrakesh, Morocco, says such funding sources can be explored by countries towards ramping up revenue. Lara Folanyo reports.
All ministers, heads of delegation, please take your seats so we can start the meeting.
A meeting of finance ministers of Commonwealth member countries on the sidelines of the IMF World Bank annual meetings. Nigeria's finance minister shares his thoughts on boosting domestic resource mobilization through alternative sources such as environmental taxes, which can be put in place by countries for improved income generation.
Environmental taxes, these are definitely an effective way to mobilize domestic resources to finance not just climate adaptation and mitigation, but development generally. And we can introduce environmental taxes in our respective countries as part of a way of mobilizing substantial revenues.
The minister notes Nigeria's peculiar challenges with fiscal sustainability and its attendant issues, as well as the authorities' efforts to change the narrative by way of tax reforms.
We acknowledge the need to retool the entire tax administration machinery to plug loopholes, review obsolete taxes, incentives, and waivers generally. That's what's being done in Nigeria. We have a presidential committee on fiscal policy and tax reform that has been mandated to look into ways of revamping the whole tax architecture. And at a time of rising interest rates worldwide, I think we'd like to commend this type of initiative.
It seeks the support of the Commonwealth in building local capabilities towards the issuance of climate financing instruments against the backdrop of the country's earlier issuance of green bonds to finance environmental sustainability.
In this regard and in this context, we welcome what we have heard from the Commonwealth Secretary General, and we look to strong support from the Commonwealth in building local capabilities to issue and attract financing into green bonds, blue bonds, and other financing, climate financing vehicles.
The minister also expressed willingness to learn from India's financial sector digitization experience while sympathizing with countries who recently experienced natural disasters. Lara Folanyo, TVC News.
Let's take a look at the equities market now. Global shares slipped today after a stronger than expected U.S. inflation figures and upcoming consumer price data from Europe kept markets on edge about central banks keeping interest rate higher for longer. MSCI's Broadex Index of Global Equities fell 0.3%, while Europe's stocks 600 shares index nudged 0.2% lower in early trade, following a bruising section in Asia, where markets are caught between worries of higher dollar borrowing cost and a slowdown in China's economy. MSCI's index of equities outside Japan fell 1.2% as it remained in negative territory for the year to date. Data showed China's consumer prices were flat in September, while factory gate prices shrank at a slower pace, indicating deflationary pressures persist. Japan's Nikkei was 0.53%.